Can I ask her a
Yeah,
quick question?
please, you start.
Okay, are you being invited to every fashion show now? Because not only because of the character you played, but because you just can wear some clothes.
Oh, well, I mean, takes one to know one.
Thank you.
It's been so exciting to be able to, sort of dip my toe in that world and be able to wear such incredible clothes.
Were you never in that world? Because I felt like you probably modeled as well as an actor.
I did a bit of fit modeling in college,
Okay.
but what's been so exciting about doing different press and photo shoots is finding that sort of, I think, more of the editorial space versus,
Right.
like
Right.
just showing off leggings.
Are you finding your story through clothes as well? Because I mean, that's what I've been using clothes as. It's like this is the way I tell my story with characters and films and
Before
TV.
you even speak, I think that's such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
What do you want the world to see?
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to figure out how I want to present
Who's Sarah?
who Sarah is. Yeah, and as I'm stepping out in this way, it makes just changes your mental state as well.
does, yeah.
I can be so tired and doing some of these things. Then you put on like that
Somebody-
outfit. and you're
There we
like,
go. Bam, bam.
Yeah, it's like a shot of espresso.
Coleman, can you talk a bit more about the role that fashion plays in your life? Because, as you said, you really use fashion to express yourself.
I think it's a good storytelling tool. I think that I started, like I've always had a sense of style, but as I was promoting more and promoting, it's like the idea that like people get to know who you, sometimes they'll just figure you out by what you're wearing. I want to be very conscious of the story that I'm telling, when I walk into the room. Today, I'm like, yeah, it's spring, it's fun. I knew we were meeting. I want to feel lively. And so for me, it's never just somebody putting clothes on you. I'm like, what is the story I'm trying to tell today in this environment? Maybe what I want to tell the world right now. I remember this one time, and I talked about this the other day for the Oscars last year, and I had this whole conversation about like wanting to wear red. And I think my team people thought like, oh, red, that's such a bold color for Best Actor nominee. And I said, yeah, because I want to feel like love in the room. I just want to feel like a big red heart.
Oh, gosh.
And then we designed towards that. So for me, it was more about the feeling. And people think it's always just about the style and the clothes. I'm like, no,
Right.
it's the feeling. It's the way I want to feel so I can feel really myself in the room. And so that's for me. It's my own sort of like secret sauce to feel good, and I use it that way.
Do you ever put on a character's costume and it doesn't make you feel right, but then that's actually the thing you need to go towards?
Wow. Yes. And
I should
if you-
ask that there.
That's good. No, that's good. Because literally, I've been on the phone call with conversations about this one character and about the play. And I was like, oh, yeah, because he's much more conservative. I'm looking at more like he's sort of vintage Ralph Lauren and stuff like that. And I'm a Ralph guy to a certain extent. But this was like real vintage stuff and everything about it. Then the watches she was showing me, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is much more buttoned up me version of, I got to find that story. Because the costume designer had a whole idea. And I'm like, I can find myself. I can get there. But it wasn't something I would pull immediately.
So interesting.
Yeah. Do you do the same? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've just been thinking about this sort of sense of how do I delineate between this is not the right direction or, this is not the right costume choice or hair choice or the way I'm pursuing something in a scene. But is it because Sarah doesn't feel right about it as herself or as the actor, I think?
Right. Yeah.
How did you feel the first time that you walked out on set, or maybe it was in a screen test, when you were Carolyn Bessette Kennedy?
Oh, gosh. Since you see her through so many different stages in her life, I'm not sure I ever really felt like, there she is.
There was one scene, the way your hair was down, it's the texture of the blonde, you're smoking a cigarette, and it felt like very sort of, Sarah Jessica Parker vibes as well from the 90s. It was that girl. I was like, I was like, I know that girl. Because I was a kid of the 90s. I know that girl. I hung out with her. I went to CBGB's with her. I was like, I know her. Was all that part, like, did you feel all that with the hair and makeup and all that change?
Yeah, and I think also understanding because there was so much footage of her as, in her 30s, figuring out the furthest I could go in terms of her transformation, in terms of how the outside world impacted her. And, this is someone who had all the anonymity in the world. She was 26 years old, walking around the city. I've been 26 years old, and I live in New York City. So, like, you can be anyone, and you can try and be your messiest version of yourself. And, of course, it's the 90s, and people aren't photographing you, and we don't have the phones, and there's just so much more freedom.
You're so right. There's
Yeah.
more. That's what it was. there was a freedom in the way she looked in public spaces
Right.
that I don't think that people actually look like anymore.
Everyone's much more
Everybody's ready for
manicured.
it to get a photo
To
ticket.
get photos, yeah.
That's what it was. There was
Yeah.
something I was like, that's a girl of a bygone era.
Thank you both so much.
thank
This
you.
was such a great conversation.
Oh,
you.
yay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to take
Thank
my friend.
you.
We're going to get out of
I
here.
was literally getting the wrap like 5 times, and I was like, but I'm enjoying this conversation.